Hey, how's it going, friends? I'm going to dive right into this. I'm going to be color grading with just two plugins, and I'm going to be using Vegas Pro 15, but this pretty much applies across all Open Effects capable hosts like Premiere and DaVinci and all that. And I use DaVinci mostly for coloring, but I figure this is the easiest way to explain a very simple color grade of a flat profile. I'm going to be color grading a fairly flat image. It's a Protune file from GoPro, GoPro HERO7, and it's from the last review of the Hohem I Study Multi that I just did. So I'm just going to use this frame here, and you can see it's already color graded here, so I'm going to turn this off. So you can see this is a fairly flat image. That's as flat as it gets with GoPro. And I'm going to go to the Lut Filter, the Lut loader here, and I already have it loaded, but it's off. Teal Orange 1, which is from my GoPro Cinema 2 Lut pack. And I'm going to put the link to that in the description, but it's a teal orange look. It's not too heavy-handed. As you can see, I have it all the way up at 100%, and I usually start at 0.700 with most of my LUTs, but this one's okay to use at 100%, so I'm just going to leave it there. Then I come over here to Color Fixer Pro, and that's a free download. I'm going to link that too, and you can see it just got real contrasty all of a sudden. These are my adjustments here, and like I said, this is going to be real simple. I already have it graded. It's not really your typical color grade, but since my LUT has the GoPro Protune color grade slapped on it, it is already pretty much colored how I want it personally. And then I just come in here and I do a couple tweaks here, and I leave most of my LUTs and all my LUT packs, I leave some room so you can add some contrast or darken it a little bit, so it doesn't just crank everything down. I've tried a lot of other LUTs on footage like this, and it just seems to make everything so dark that you really have to back off to the point where you're like 30% of the strength of the LUT, and you're really not getting the look that you're after. So all my LUTs, you can use most of them at 100%. But that's not what this is for. This isn't complete color grading like you would normally do it. Color grading takes time, and color grading a lot of the time is per clip. I have this strapped across the entire video, and you can see down here, it's a lot of different clips, a lot of cuts. There's some cinematic portions here where they're cut to music, and you have to, most of the time I just go through after this and adjust each clip, and a lot of it's just the brightness. Sometimes I'll have to correct the white balance because it's just not sitting where the clip before and after were. But basically right here, I'm going to zoom in on this. I have the correction at 0, which is your white balance corrections and color cast corrections. I have that off. Saturation I have at -10 just because even though I use flat profile, I like to dial it back a little bit. And -10 really isn't that much. It's just, it takes a little bit of the orange out of the skin, and you can see it's all in your preference. You can see I'm a little whiter than I actually am. That's just because of the desaturation, and I kind of like it like that, so that's what I do. And then brightness I have at -26.53, whereas when you put most LUTs, just strap them across a file at 100%, you have to brighten. And this was already bright. I put the LUT on. It really didn't change the brightness too much, as you can see here, on and off. It didn't really change it too much. It gave a little bit of contrast, but left the whites alone pretty much. So I pulled it down to -26.53. I left my gamma alone, the film gamma, because it's already, the contrast is already there with my LUT, and max white and min black are also built in to the LUT, and most LUTs do that. So this is a very simple explanation for color grading, but it's also the down and dirty cheapest option. And nowadays most editors have a LUT loader, or whatever you want to call it, the ability to use LUTs natively now. This plugin was actually made a long time ago, before Vegas itself had it built in, and The Color Fixer Pro I've been using for years. It's nice, especially when I use Vegas, because I don't use Vegas all the time. I use DaVinci Resolve a lot for coloring, but the difference between doing it this way and doing it really hands-on in DaVinci Resolve is you have a lot more to work with. It's a lot more complex. There's a learning curve involved there, whereas Vegas really just lets you dive in, use plugins, and you do that instead of spending hours with a couple clips in DaVinci Resolve. I love using Resolve. I've learned it so I can grade in it, but these LUTs were actually created in DaVinci Resolve, so I take that and I put it on. This is what happens. I use Vegas a lot when I want a fast turnaround time on a video. I use it with various different projects for myself and other people, and it gets the job done. I really have never had a problem using Vegas to begin with, but DaVinci Resolve is definitely a more involved program. So this is the simplest form of color grading and getting your Protune file to look kind of cinematic and have a nice contrast in color. And this is not everybody's cup of tea here, the teal and orange, but it works. It works for this particular video, and that's how it is. Thanks for watching this short video tutorial. I'm gonna come up with more. This one was just a kind of a thought that I thought that might be helpful for a lot of people just starting out. Like I said, there's a lot more complex ways to color grade, and in order to not get yelled at by colorists, this is not the best way, but it's the fastest way to color grade your work. I don't always use LUTs. I do enjoy taking it from the ground up and coloring how I want to, but I don't use other people's LUTs anymore. I kind of learned by using LUTs what I want, and then now I just color grade and create my own LUTs. And again, the link to purchase these LUTs or just look at them, I have a few LUT packs, is in the description of this video. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and maybe you can throw me some suggestions of things that you want to see, things you want to learn, or things you want me to test out, products or software or anything like that. I definitely take suggestions and ideas. Sometimes I just run out of things to make videos about, and then I just end up doing reviews on products. So I would like to do a little bit more helpful tutorial style stuff, especially with winter coming. I'm going to be inside a little bit more, not a lot more, just a little bit more. Remember, create, share, repeat, and keep it awesome. I'll see you next time.